The very fabric of our understanding, the bedrock of what we accept as reality, rests upon the shifting sands of human discovery. But what if that bedrock isn't as solid as we believe? What if, beneath the carefully constructed edifice of known history and scientific consensus, there lie secrets so profound, so utterly improbable, that their mere existence threatens to unravel everything we think we know? This is a world teeming with enigmas, where the impossible whispers from the shadows and reality itself proves far more complex, far more alien than our limited imaginations dare to conceive. We are about to journey into the heart of these forbidden truths, to explore discoveries that, by all rational accounts, simply shouldn't exist. For years, the narrator, a researcher driven by an insatiable, almost feverish curiosity, delved into the fringe, initially armed with a healthy dose of skepticism. Every anomaly, every historical footnote that defied explanation became a beacon in the fog of the unknown. The journey began as an academic exercise, a meticulous sifting through data, but it quickly transformed into an obsession. The early days were marked by cautious hypotheses, then by increasingly wild theories, each one eroding the narrator's initial disbelief. The sheer volume of overwhelming, undeniable evidence began to chip away at the walls of conventional thought, revealing a landscape far stranger than fiction. This relentless pursuit, however, came at a steep personal cost. Friendships frayed, academic colleagues offered condescending smiles, and the quiet solitude of late-night research often blurred the lines between profound insight and encroaching madness. Yet, the truth, however unsettling, beckoned with an irresistible force. Our first glimpse into this forbidden knowledge takes us to the desolate, icy expanse of Antarctica, a continent that guards its secrets with an unforgiving grip. For decades, satellite imagery hinted at anomalies, but it wasn't until a recent, highly secretive international expedition that the full scale of the Antarctic anomaly was revealed. Buried thousands of feet beneath the ancient ice, scientists encountered a structure of colossal proportions, unlike anything ever recorded. Its composition defied known geology, a seamless metallic-like substance that resisted all attempts at conventional dating. Whispers of ancient, forgotten civilizations, or perhaps even extraterrestrial intervention, began to circulate amongst the bewildered researchers. Adding to the profound mystery, intricate non-human symbols were found etched into the structure's surface, glowing faintly with an internal luminescence, hinting at an intelligence far beyond our current comprehension. Leaving the frozen south, our path leads us to the arid plains of the Nazca Desert, a place already famed for its enigmatic geoglyphs. Yet recent aerial surveys employing advanced thermal imaging uncovered something far more astonishing than the well-known condors and hummingbirds. There, sprawled across miles of sun-baked earth, was a geoglyph of unprecedented scale, depicting not an animal, but an impossible machine, or perhaps a creature of alien design, utterly unlike anything in known Nazca culture. Its sheer precision, visible only from extreme altitudes, suggested a technology and understanding of geometry that far surpassed the capabilities attributed to its supposed creators. The revelation intensified when, beneath this colossal, impossible image, hidden chambers were discovered. Within them lay artifacts resonating with an unknown energy, humming with a frequency that seemed to defy the very laws of physics. Our final stop for now plunges us into the abyssal depths of the Pacific Ocean, to the submerged enigma of the Yonaguni Monument. While long debated as a natural formation, new irrefutable evidence has emerged, proving its artificial construction, impossibly sharp angles, perfectly rectilinear cuts, and terraced structures defy any geological explanation. This wasn't merely erosion, it was architecture. And then the discovery, a hidden passage concealed by cleverly disguised rock formations leading into a vast, underwater labyrinth. The air within was strangely breathable, preserved by an unknown method. Deeper inside, etched onto the polished stone walls, ancient writings glowed faintly. They spoke of a cataclysmic event, a warning for humanity, and concluded with a phrase in a language utterly unknown, a language that seemed to resonate deep within the soul. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The narrator's journey, once a meticulous academic pursuit, had mutated into an all-consuming obsession. Each unearthed enigma, from the Antarctic's metallic behemoth to Yonaguni's submerged prophecy, tightened the invisible threads that now bound these disparate mysteries together. The initial spark of curiosity had ignited a wildfire, consuming personal relationships, leaving a trail of strained connections and financial instability. Sleep became a luxury, replaced by endless nights poring over ancient texts, geographical coordinates, and scientific papers, the weight of the unknown pressing down like a physical burden. The lines between dedication and delirium blurred, yet the relentless drive to connect these impossible dots propelled the narrator forward, a solitary figure navigating a world increasingly convinced of their own sanity. A chilling sensation began to creep in, the distinct feeling of being watched, a subtle shift in shadows, a fleeting glimpse of an unfamiliar car, hinting at unseen forces lurking just beyond perception, shadowy organizations perhaps, or something far older. This relentless pursuit led to a deeper examination of artifacts long dismissed as mere curiosities. Take, for instance, the so-called Baghdad battery. Conventionally explained as a simple electroplating device, new independent analyses, spurred by the narrator's insistence, revealed startling data. The ancient clay pot, copper cylinder, and iron rod, when reconstructed with precise historical materials, produced not just a weak current but a sustained, powerful discharge capable of far more complex functions than gilding trinkets. It hinted at a lost understanding of electricity, a primitive yet potent energy source. This revelation opened the floodgates to countless other out-of-place artifacts, metallic spheres of impossible perfection found in coal seams millions of years old, intricate clockwork mechanisms from ancient Egyptian tombs that defied the very concept of their era, and sophisticated optical lenses discovered in ruins predating known glass-making techniques. The narrator meticulously catalogued these anomalies, and a pattern began to emerge. Independent analysis of their composition, conducted under conditions of extreme secrecy, consistently revealed trace elements, isotopes, and crystalline structures that did not originate from Earth. A common, non-terrestrial element pulsed faintly within their core, a silent testament to an origin beyond our planet, or perhaps an origin beyond our accepted timeline. The quest then turned to the enigmatic ruins of Pumapunku, a site whose megalithic stonework has baffled archaeologists for centuries. The precision of the cuts, the interlocking H-blocks weighing hundreds of tons, the polished surfaces of diorite and andesite, all defy the known tools and techniques of the Tiwanaku people. Yet the narrator's research, drawing on newly uncovered archaeological findings, pointed to something far more profound. Beneath the visible ruins lay an intricate network of subterranean channels and chambers, constructed from an unknown, incredibly durable material that seemed to absorb and dissipate energy. It was here that the true purpose of Pumapunku began to reveal itself. A power conduit system, an ancient infrastructure designed to harness and distribute a lost energy source. Deep within this labyrinth, a hidden compartment was finally uncovered. Inside, nestled amongst dust and time, lay a device unlike any other. When activated, it hummed with a low resonance, emitting a complex, pulsating light pattern that, when analyzed, resolved into an unmistakable star chart, pointing with chilling accuracy to a specific constellation, one that seemed to hold a profound significance. The journey continued, descending into the colossal subterranean networks of places like Derinkuyu, the ancient underground cities of Cappadocia. These vast, multi-level complexes, capable of housing tens of thousands, have always been attributed to early Christians seeking refuge. But the sheer scale, the intricate ventilation shafts reaching hundreds of feet to the surface, and the sophisticated waste management systems, far exceeded the capabilities of their supposed builders. The narrator, driven by an instinct honed by years of uncovering the impossible, found a section within the Derinkuyu complex that deviated from the hand-hewn tunnels. It was unnaturally smooth, perfectly cylindrical, clearly machine-carved, descending into the earth with an unnerving precision. This tunnel, unlike the others, seemed to stretch into geological strata far older than the visible city. At its terminus, deep beneath the Earth's surface, stood an immense, sealed door. It was fashioned from the same non-terrestrial material found in the ooh parts, glowing faintly with an inner light, and etched upon its surface were the identical non-human symbols seen on the Antarctic anomaly. A faint, rhythmic humming, barely perceptible, emanated from behind it, a low thrum that promised either revelation or utter catastrophe. The cumulative weight of these monumental discoveries pressed upon the narrator, a relentless tide threatening to engulf the flickering flame of their sanity. Days blurred into nights, an endless cycle of deciphering cryptic symbols, cross-referencing ancient texts, and meticulously plotting coordinates on ever-growing global maps. The humming from behind the sealed door in Derinkuyu resonated not just in the tunnels, but within the narrator's very bones, a constant low-frequency reminder of the precipice humanity stood upon. Despair, a cold, heavy cloak, threatened to smother the last vestiges of hope. Yet in that darkest hour, amidst the chaotic swirl of data and unanswered questions, a sudden, blinding flash of insight pierced the gloom. It wasn't a logical deduction, but an intuitive leap, a profound connection forged in the crucible of exhaustion and unwavering dedication. All the pieces, scattered across continents and millennia, suddenly snapped into place, revealing a mosaic far grander and more terrifying than individual fragments had suggested. The realization struck with the force of a cosmic hammer. There was no malevolent, unified human conspiracy. The shadowy figures, the subtle warnings, the feeling of being watched. These were not the machinations of a clandestine government agency or a secret society, but rather the silent vigilance of an ancient, self-preserving system. This entity, or perhaps an ingrained mandate passed down through countless generations, functioned not out of ill will but from a profound, ancestral drive to protect humanity from a truth it was simply not ready to comprehend. It was a guardian, not a jailer, its methods subtle, its presence pervasive. Just as this chilling understanding solidified, an anonymous, encrypted message materialized on the narrator's secure server. It contained no words, only a complex symbol, a composite of the Antarctic etching, the Yonaguni script, and the Puma Punku star chart. The message was clear, unmistakable. You are close, stop digging. The warning, rather than deterring, only fueled the narrator's resolve. The symbols, the non-terrestrial materials, the impossible structures, they weren't mere anomalies. They were threads woven into the very fabric of human history, connecting to ancient myths and legends that echoed across every culture, every continent. The theory that solidified in the narrator's mind was audacious, almost heretical. These discoveries were not alien in the conventional sense, but represented a lost, incredibly advanced human civilization, or perhaps a shared ancestral memory of humanity's true origins and cyclical nature. The forgotten tales of Atlantis, of gods descending from the heavens, of cataclysms that reset civilization, they weren't fiction. They were fragmented memories of a recurring reality. Humanity, it seemed, had reached pinnacles of knowledge and technology before, only to be purged, reset, or forced to retreat by cosmic events beyond its control. The deciphered symbols, finally yielding their secrets, spoke not of invasion, but of a complex cyclical warning. They detailed a cosmic event, a celestial alignment or a destructive wave that periodically threatened earthly life. The ancient sites, from Antarctica to Derinkuyu, were not just ruins. They were observatories, shelters, and repositories of knowledge, meticulously placed by those who came before, designed to aid survival and rebirth. These discoveries were not random, nor were they accidental. They were deliberate breadcrumbs, a cosmic trail left for a future generation to find, to interpret, to heed. They were a profound test, a meticulously crafted guide, or perhaps a final desperate warning from those who had witnessed the cycles before. The forbidden aspect wasn't about concealment for concealment's sake, but about patiently awaiting humanity's readiness, its collective intellectual and spiritual maturity to confront such overwhelming truths. The narrator, having synthesized every shred of information, every whisper of forgotten history, arrived at a chilling, undeniable conclusion. The discoveries that shouldn't exist were not merely curiosities. They were the keys to unlocking humanity's true past, and more urgently, to comprehending its imminent future. The final image the narrator compiled, a composite global map, showed all the discovery locations forming an intricate, undeniable pattern. This pattern aligned perfectly with the star chart from Pumapunku, pointing to a specific celestial convergence, an impending alignment or event that resonated with the ancient warnings. The ultimate question now hung heavy in the air, a profound challenge to every listener. What if everything we believe about ourselves, our origins and our place in the universe is merely a carefully constructed illusion? What if the real history of humanity is far grander, far more terrifying and infinitely more cyclical than we dare to imagine? The journey, the narrator knew, was far from over. It had only just begun.